So, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you're joining in around the world. And of course, those who are on the ground, you are most welcome for this session. So, I'm here. My name is Walter Mayeku. I'm going to be the moderator for this session. And my work is to welcome and introduce the speaker the day for the session. And our speaker for today is going to be Enoch Seth Nyamado. Enoch is a Craft OpenStreetMap contributor and a community member. He promotes and advocates using free and open source softwares and communities of practice. So Enoch is going to take us a quick introduction to OSGeoLive and how to reuse OpenStreetMap. I hope, Enoch, you're ready to take us through your session. You're most welcome when you're ready, please. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction and welcome everyone to this session. My name is Enoch and I contribute to OpenStreetMap and I also reuse OpenStreetMap as well. I think we can just hold on a bit for maybe 2 seconds, 1 minute, then I start. So in 1 minute time, I try to share my screen and see if it works then. So proceed, so share. I share my screen. I think this should work now. And then we should be here. I need to put this to the side. All right. So my name is Enoch, and I contribute to OpenStreetMap, and I also advocate for free and open source software and communities of practice. This session, it's about OSGeoLive, and then how to reuse OpenStreetMap, basically using OSGeoLive as a platform or as a springboard to our session. And I'll quickly go to the website of state of the map.africa. Yeah, let's see what the program says. All right, so we go to program, and then my session is here. It's supposed to be an interactive one. So yeah, so in this session we will look at OSGeoLive in the first place, and then we will continue to look at how to reuse OpenStreetMap data in OSGeo projects. So without wasting much time, let's start from the OSGeo. So because you can see here that the project, or what I'm coming to talk about, it's OSGeoLive. And in the name, it's a portmanteau of 2 words. You can see OSGeo here, and then live on the other side. So that's, I use the opportunity to first talk about OSGeo, and then we can now move to what OSGeoLive is.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be, where is this one? This one. So just click it. They're supposed to be, then scroll.
Moderator, I can hear some people's voice. Can you please mute them? All right. So OSGeo, I'm sure if you are here, you might have heard of a software called QGIS or QGIS, depending on where you are coming from or how you prefer to pronounce it. QGIS, just to fast forward, it's an example of an OSGeo project. So OSGeo is the open source geospatial foundation. And you might already have not known about what OSGeo is, but I am 100% sure that in your favorite desktop GIS or web GIS, there is a tool or a small tiny project, which is part of the open source geospatial foundation projects, which is enabling you to perform basic functionalities in your favorite GIS software or your favorite mobile navigation application. So the OSGeo, the website for OSGeo is osgeo.org. And when I click about the OSGeo, we can see that the OSGeo, it's a foundation which is a not-for-profit, whose mission is to foster global adoption of open geospatial technology by being an inclusive software foundation devoted to an open philosophy and its community-driven approach. Yeah, it's a community-driven approach because anybody can become a member of the OSGeo and also promote OSGeo's missions and goals. So yeah, the vision of OSGeo is to empower everyone with open source geospatial. The OSGeo is not a company. OSGeo is a not-for-profit. It's a community as well, and I am also a member of this community. Everybody can become a member of this community. There is no nothing like a membership fee, but spreading OSGeo's goals and mission, it's a way of becoming a member. It's self-conferred. So OSGeo provide resources for foundation projects. Some of these projects we'll look at soon, and many more. So it's a tall list. OSGeo got how do you call it? Inspiration from many projects and started with the early projects like the founding project of OSGeo is GRASS. You might have heard of GRASS GIS. These are some examples of the founding project of OSGeo. So quickly, we come to OSGeoLive. I believe you are joining this session from a device, either a mobile phone or a computer. And in a computer or a mobile phone, there is something called an operating system. So operating system allows us to be able to use our computer or devices. Examples of operating system are Microsoft Windows, Ubuntu, Linux, Mac OS, Android, iOS. These are examples of operating systems. So these operating systems allow you to be able to run or to use secondary, or let's see how do you use secondary application program. So an application program could be your word processor. Your word processor is an application program. You need an operating system in order to run a QGIS. So QGIS cannot just run on its own. You don't turn a computer or a mobile phone, and QGIS is the first thing running. Or Mozilla Firefox doesn't run when you turn on the computer or the mobile phone at the start. Something comes up when you turn on the computer first. So that's an operating system. So long story short, OSGeo is an OSGeoLive is an operating system in the sense that this operating system is packaged. Packaged meaning that it comes already with pre-installed tools and software for your geospatial needs. So you can say OSGeoLive is your geospatial companion because most of the free and open source software for geospatial you might have ever heard of or think of, it's already included in this operating system, which is called OSGeoLive. The live here probably is because you can run it live. I will demonstrate this without installing it on your computer. So you can see here from reading straightforward, it's a self-contained bootable DVD or a USB or a virtual machine, which is based on Lubuntu. You can see here there is Ubuntu in the name. You don't have to stress too much about it. And in this, there are OSGeo projects. So we have a home, which is this page we see here. And this home already tells you about getting started with OSGeoLive. You need a computer with basic minimum requirement of 2 GB and not so much, it's not so much aggressive. And this is how OSGeoLive is looking on the desktop. This is current version, it's version 16. It's released annually based on the global FOSS4G conference schedule. And this was released for this year's FOSS4G in prison in Kosovo. So you can see that the logo from the conference, it's somehow on this image here. Now we can quickly go to contents of what is included in this operating system. So if you pick this and you start it from a USB stick, a pen drive, or you put it on a computer, or you pick the virtual machine, which I will use in this workshop or this session and show you what is included, what do you have on it. So we have some categorization here, which is desktop GIS, browser facing, down to some available prior OSGeoLive releases. No, this is just geospatial standards, etc. Quickly, I will jump to data and then we come back to desktop GIS. So data here, you can see that we have a natural earth data set. So this is a global data set, I think both vector and raster, which it's in the public domain that you can use as a starting point for projects, mostly at maybe country levels, regional levels, and at the global level. There's also a North Carolina data set there, some NetCDF data. So maybe if you'd be wondering trying to play around with some time series data and you don't know where to find it, this already comes pre-packaged. And your faithfully OpenStreetMap data, it's also included. And this OpenStreetMap data is based on the location of the FOSS4G conference. So this release I mentioned is released for the conference in Kosovo, Princeton. And as you can imagine, the conference data, it's in that geographical region, which we will see soon. So just a second. Yeah. Okay. So we can quickly go back to the top. So we have desktop GIS. We have GRASS GIS. You might have heard of GRASS maybe before, but I believe from this list, you recognize one at least, which is QGIS here. Now, there is something I want to explain here. You see, this is the OSGeo logo is beside the projects. And this OSGeo logo means that these are OSGeo projects. So if there is none, then tells you this is a community project. And you see this blue thing here indicates that this software package is included in the virtual box, virtual disk image. So we have two categories. We have an image for installing or live running, and we also have a disk. So it's like a hard disk, but it's virtual. You just put in a software, then you can start running the OSGeo software. We have the browser facing. We have other ones. There's a long list, but we'll just look at basic things. We also have something which will be of interest. It's which is an OSGeo community project. It's called PG routing, which definitely you can use OpenStreetMap to do some things with it. And yours faithfully, GeoSM is included on this operating system already. So if you grab this, you don't need to install anything, and already you are ready to go, and some other domain specific items. It could be interesting already to know that this thing I am doing here, it's this presentation, it's running from an OSGeoLive in a virtual box machine. So how do you start with a virtual an OSGeoLive? So we go to the home page, which is the same as if you are on the browser. You can go to live.osgeo.org. So bring you right to the same thing. But this you see here, it's on local host, meaning that it's running on this operating system. So I have this offline. If I don't have internet now, this perfectly should work because it is packaged. It's put all together in this OSGeoLive operating system, because the goal is that this is prepared to work in a completely offline situation. So if you have a lab which is not connected to the internet, you are still able to run this kind of tools without much workload or overhead cost. So quickly, we will jump to the contents of this. So I just minimize this. I talk about the contents, too much talk. Let's look in action. So on the desktop of this operating system, which is called OSGeoLive, you can see the folders I mentioned already. So if we open browser facing, there are some things happening here. We see those list of softwares again. But I would like to start from the desktop GIS, and we start from QGIS. So I open QGIS. So the interesting thing is that when OSGeoLive is released, it's packaged with the long-term release of the software. So someone could say maybe, how do you say it? Someone could say a stable version, or yeah, a stable version. So a long-term release of the software. So here is QGIS with all the nitty-gritty things already running. We can look at what data is included. So if you come to the left panel here, you see that we have a browser in the QGIS. I mean, OpenStreetMap, of course, will be part of the XYZ tiles here. And if you look at Postgres, so it's interesting, maybe you've been trying to play around with PostGIS, which is a database for storing spatial elements. You can see that OpenStreetMap is here already, and this has a schema for planet, and we have some items in it. So if I load this and I right-click and I zoom to this layer, it should take me to Princeton, which I mentioned that was the venue for the conference recently, and show some rows. Likewise, when I drop the other files here, we should find what they also mean or what they represent here in OpenStreetMap. So this data is completely coming from OpenStreetMap, and it's packaged with the operating system that if you pick it, you are able to run it, and then you have your files already. And this virtual disk image is not, as in, how do you call it, static. It's not cast in stone, meaning that if you want to customize this for your lab or your work, or maybe for your students, you can pick the virtual disk image and then put the necessary items you would like to put on it, and then redistribute it among the students. So this case, the data, it's uniform, and the students have, or whichever workshop you're running, everybody has a similar data or the same data to work with, not to start downloading it individually again. As I am talking, I cannot see the chat, but if you have any question, I don't know if there is a chat feature thing enabled, but Mr. Moderator Walter, if there is somebody trying to speak, or if you can enable a way that somebody has any question, they can kindly alert me, because I cannot see the chat. So if somebody draws something in the chat, please alert me, and then we can go ahead. All right, so this is QGIS, all in QGIS. We remove all this data. Now the question is that you don't, we are jumping between reusing of OpenStreetMap data and then exploring this operating system, which is OSGeoLive. So first thing we are looking at is QGIS, and then we saw that there is some initial data loaded already. I mean, natural that is here. If we see the public schema here, we have a lot of data. So probably maybe you just want the countries, data, either geo package, shapefile, or whatever. You already have it. This is not from OpenStreetMap, but the natural earth data provides that. If you want more information about the natural earth data, in this OSGeoLive is included. Somebody is trying to speak. Walter, can you please mute? Somebody's trying to speak, but I think maybe it's by accident. We go to natural earth data here, and you can see it's explained. It tells you, but this is offline. This comes with the operating system. Whatever I am showing here, there is the online version of it, which is live.osgeo.org. You can still use this, and if you have internet, you do it. But I am using this completely in an offline setting, so that you can see how maybe this fits in your settings where there is limited internet access, and you want to be able to do things faster and make life easier for yourself, your colleagues, and then maybe your students as well. So natural earth data, more information here provides, and there is a link directly to the website of natural earth data, and you can see what is it. So you can get this entire data package and use it whichever I would prefer. I recommend that if this is the first time you are hearing about the natural earth data, if you don't know about it, you can download the kit, the natural earth data kit, which I'm just clicking to download, and see it has some initial cartography already, which can serve as an inspiration. So back to QGIS. Let's say this is not where you are interested in. You want to go to Cameroon. So let's say Yaoundé. Now in QGIS, nominating is the geocoder. So when you go to osm.org, it's osm.org, and you, come on. So when you go to osm.org and you search for, let's say, Yaoundé, my typing is right, Yaoundé. What is happening here, you see OpenStreetMap nominating. So it's the geocoder, so the tool that is translating this Yaoundé into latitude and longitude, that is helping you find it. So in QGIS, there is the capability to use nominating out of the box. So how that happens is, you can see it here already. Is this one is the greater than sign. So when I press this greater than sign on the keyboard and I start typing Yaoundé, this requires internet. So it already searches, and you see a blinking circle. I put OpenStreetMap in the base as a reference. So from the XYZ tiles here, I search for Yaoundé again, and then it's searching. Let's say Yaoundé, and I double click on this. What happens? It zooms to Yaoundé and blinks in this location for you. So that's one way you are already reusing features from OpenStreetMap in QGIS, which is a free and open source compass, GIS tool, second to none that you can use for many things. Zoom to it. So this is one cool and interesting reuse of OpenStreetMap search there. And in Yaoundé here, maybe we want the data for Yaoundé. What specifically do we want? Okay, we are in Yaoundé for state of the map now. This evening, maybe we want to visit some bars in Yaoundé. So you want to quickly make a quick map of Yaoundé, or want to get the data for your workshop. How do we retrieve it? So in QGIS by itself, out of the box, we could just go to a plugins and then manage plugins. It takes some time. I don't know why, but I hope it arrives soon. Okay, good. Let's see installed plugins. So by default already, there are plugins installed already, packaged with OSGeoLive. So if you are running QGIS from OSGeoLive, if you install QGIS on your own computer, you don't see most of this. For example, what I was going to show, it's called Quick OSM. So I just enable it. There's an upgrade now, so I upgrade the plugin. And let's see how long it takes. It shouldn't be doing this in a live session, but I take the risk to see if it works. So I upgrade this plugin, and let's see what is happening with it and how we can use it to find the bars for tonight's session evening, if we want to see what's happening in Yaoundé today from OpenStreetMap quickly. So still loading. In the meantime, as this is almost 100%, if anybody has any question, please feel free to put it in the chat and I respond. Okay, good. So this is stand on, and you can see here there are some 2 new buttons. I think I can make this bigger. Why can't I make it bigger? Just give me a second. Something is hiding. I can move. Yeah. Yes. All right. Then I make it full screen. Okay. So this box is too big. I think I will just go to a smaller extent here. Let's say I hope we find some bars here. So with this, I click on this search quick OSM thing. And then, of course, OpenStreetMap data, it's under Open Data Commons Open Data License, ODBL. And everyone is free to use OpenStreetMap data. And when you use OpenStreetMap data, please put an attribution there that's copyright OpenStreetMap contributors. Please do this. This is very useful and makes other mappers, and also shows that, yeah, OpenStreetMap data is worth it, and please use it and contribute back to it. So I understand, and I already know about this, and I also contribute to OpenStreetMap. Now, in order to do this, you need an understanding of the OpenStreetMap tagging schema. I mean, what tag should give us a pub or a bar for tonight? Well, I don't know. So I was told that if you need to find it, OpenStreetMap Wiki, it's your manual. So the trick of finding a tag is probably to just say a bar. So let's say bar OSM Wiki. I use this in my favorite search and see what happens. So I search for that, and then I see some things, but I cannot really tell what is really confusing at this point. So I go to amenities, where I think my decision is based on that, but there is a page on the OSM Wiki called Map Features. So I go to Map Features, which is a long list of, which is a long list of tags and common tags. I mean, so on this page, I can do a Control F, and then I try to find a pub and see what happened. Pub. Okay, so there is amenity bar here, which is a bar. Is population. Okay, probably I'm interested in the bar, amenity bar. So the key is amenity, and the value is a bar. So I go back to my QGIS, quick OSM, of course, here. Then the key I want is amenity, and automatically it starts auto-completing. The quick OSM starts auto-completing. Then I want a bar, and then here is a bar. And in where do I want this from? So you can specify maybe Yaoundé, but Yaoundé is too big. So all I want is I want to do canvas extent. So in QGIS, this is the canvas, this visible area here. This you see here is the canvas. So now the canvas is this, and now I change it again. So, but I keep it in this context. So I go to Quick OSM, and then I just minimize this. I usually reduce the size of this a bit. I think sometimes it's hidden down there. You have to go down, then based on the size of your screen, and I run query. So I run this query. It runs. It's 100% successful. Wow! And we can already see we have polygons. I can show feature count. Where is it? It should be here. 2 of them are polygons. and then show feature count, 111 of them are points. That is interesting to know that in this extent, in this area of Yaoundé, so you can see that the chilling, it's on the east side of Yaoundé. So this is kind of like a place, or maybe where more Bassa in this side. I see not much. Okay, we can see that there is a museum here. There is a Supreme Court here. Okay, so there will not be a bar. It's obvious that there will not be bar nightclubs in the Supreme Court. So it makes sense that it's orienteering to this area here. And well, you want to send this to people. You want to share it among the conference participants. So easily you can just export. But first, let's look at the attribute table. What happens when you do this? When you do this, it brings all the available tags in OpenStreetMap. So you can see it. Okay, so you got the names, DEs on some of them, name, contact phone. You got amenity bar. You got the type of OSM object it is, the OSM ID, and it also got the full ID. Now, one interesting to note is that this is in QGIS though. We have the quick OSM plugin and use it to get the data. If I click the identify here and I identify one of these and you expand actions. So if you look closely, when you expand the actions after identifying an object, it says view feature form. It opens the form. It tells me all these things. You can edit it. You can open in OpenStreetMap browser. So you can see when I did that, it opened this exactly in OSM, which is a cool feature. And what else? I can directly edit this in an editor, probably maybe ID or something. And then over here, you can see that when I click on GeoSM, GeoSM is not working. So that leads me to the next thing, so which is GeoSM. So GeoSM. You might be wondering what is GeoSM. So already it's explanatory. It's Java OpenStreetMap editor. So GeoSM, it's a software. It's an editor. Editor is a tool that you can use to modify, change, delete, add data to OpenStreetMap. It could be graphical, it could be text-based. And Java OpenStreetMap, it's one of the robust and complex ones. It's not complicated or difficult when you get used to it. In the early days, it might be a bit intimidating, but after you get your hands on it, it's pretty useful. And I recommend that if you don't already use GeoSM in your OpenStreetMap contributions, this you should get your hands on and play around a bit. So GeoSM launches, and then we see what we can do from here. As GeoSM is loading, taking a couple of time because this is the first start. When you start GeoSM for the first time, it's always a bit slow or complicated, but yeah, let's see what happens next. Okay, it's ready. It tells me it's out of date because yes, this is packaged and there have been newer releases of GeoSM as at the time this was prepared. So in order for this to work, when you click here and it loads in GeoSM, you will need to enable remote control. So this is a feature in GeoSM that allows you to be able to send. So if you already know about using, okay, I log in here. Let's see something. Let's see if this works. Oh, it doesn't work. What is it? Let's try again. It doesn't work. Okay, last one. It should work now. Yes, it works. Okay, so if you, oh, I click on the thing, close. So in OpenStreetMap, you can click edit. I mean, there should be sessions already at state of the map that talk about contributing or editing OpenStreetMap in much more detailed way. But if you click here, you see two options now. You see ID and then with remote control, which GeoSM uses. So now, in order, it's the same thing which is happening here. When I click this, it turns it to GeoSM, but because the remote control is not enabled, in order to do that, you need to enable it in GeoSM. You can see it complaining that editing failed. Make sure GeoSM or blah, 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 it's having this feature. So I go to settings. Let's not use the shortcut. Excuse me. We go to file. It's been a long time. I need this menu thing. So here, and then we go to, there's something here. You see the remote control. So I click on this, and then I enable remote control. That's all you need to do. And if I go back to QGIS now, and I click on this, the magic should happen. And what the magic does is it loads this point, this node, into a GeoSM for me. So probably you already got the data and you want to work with it, and you notice that, oh, there is a problem with it. There's something in the chat. I saw something. Let's see. What does it say? We go here. Okay, I don't know. Okay, it was an emoji. It's fine. Okay. Please, if I don't see the chat, draw my attention. Walter, you can just tell me what the question is. Okay.
We're on the right track. Enjoy.
All right, good. So this quickly loads the point in GeoSM, and then we can use one of the publicly available imagery. I would choose being here. Let's see. Okay, it's right there along the road. And that's only brings you that feature, and then you can quickly fix the name or something you want to fix, and you save it to OpenStreetMap. Good. Now, let's say here in OpenStreetMap, we can do the same in GeoSM. We can do the same similar thing, just to get all in bars for our use case. So we could use the download here, and we go to overpass, but there is nothing showing here. So that brings me to, you will need to turn on the expert mode here and click OK. So now if we go to download, you should see download from overpass API. So from overpass, we go to the wizard. This overpass, I should have talked about the browser one first. So let's, we came from QGIS, from Quick OSM to QGIS, and then to GeoSM. And now I'm trying to talk about overpass. Now, Quick OSM is also using what is called overpass. I should have spoken about overpass first. So we call it overpass turbo OSM. So I just search, I think it should be the first one here. So this overpass turbo, it's a web interface, or it's a, I would just say this is a way that you query OpenStreetMap data directly from the live database. You know the tag, you just tell it that get me ABC from OSM, and it does that for you. So what we did with Quick OSM is using the overpass API to be able to retrieve the data from OpenStreetMap for us. We will get to a point where you want to get more data than overpass. So overpass, you should know, has a limit on the extent of features. So let's say for the whole Cameroon, or let's say for the whole of maybe Kenya or Ghana, I want to extract the bars in this country from OpenStreetMap. Overpass could be a bit problematic if these features are more than a certain limit. I cannot say off the top of my head, but there's a limit you should know. So here, I will just search here to Yaoundé. Let's see the same nominating happening here, Yaoundé right here. We were working along this roundabout or interchange, I remember. And then here we just go to wizard, and then we type amenity is equal to bar. And then I build a run query. Well, when I build a run, you can see similarity between the same thing. I mean, it gets me nodes, 129 of them, none of them are polygons, and yada, yada, yada. So, okay, let me just zoom out a bit and then run it again. So when you run in the bounding box, B box here, it's taking the canvas, the extent here. So you sort some ways and then some polygons and then points again. Now with this, you can already download this as an export and download this as how do you call it? A GeoJSON. There are several formats here you can download, or you can just load it to GeoSM. Then it tells you that there is a problem, click repair. And it's also using the same remote control feature to load this into GeoSM for you. And as you can see, yeah, this all in bars scattered around this side of Yaoundé. And maybe you want to reuse this in QGIS or send it to a friend or whatever. You can right click on it and then you can save as. So let's see which format we want to save it in as. So we can go to, I just put it in downloads, and then you see there are formats here. So GeoJSON, maybe you want GeoJSON quickly or you want OSM. I will save it in OSM, and then I'll just call it bars OSM. Okay, it's already OSM, so I save. And then I'll right click again and I will save as. And now this time I'll save it as GeoJSON. Then I save. No, not the OSM. Save as, where are you? right click on this layer and we save as. I'll just delete this extension and save it as GeoJSON. Now it's saved. When we go to the file manager here, and we go to downloads, I make this big a bit. You see, we should have a bus and then as GeoJSON and bus.osm. This already, the natural F10 is downloaded. I will just extract it as we are talking. This already can work in both GeoSM and QGI. So this GeoJSON, I bring it, drop it into QGIS. It tells me that there are 8 polygons and 258 points. I can select all of them and add it to QGIS. If I turn off the old ones, I turn off the old one, which is from QOSM, which tells you press shift and move it up. And then we zoom to these layers and you can see the pattern is there. And if I just put this below it and I just try to turn off, you can see it just went way more before. And it's vector data, OpenStreetMap data, it's vector data, it's in open data format, and it's in a format that you can convert between several formats. So this, again, you can now export to GeoPackage if that is what you need to do. So this is one way you are retrieving data from OpenStreetMap. Now let's at a country scale. We've looked at quick OSM, which is overpass. We started from QGIS, transition to both GeoSM now. Now, we will look at sources or where you could get OpenStreetMap data from at a larger scale. And then from there also, you could continue to do your geoprocessing and filter, trim down, and reduce. We go back to my home. I lost it, so I will just type localhost, and then it should bring me that one. Where is it? I think it should be this. Yeah, good. So we go to contents, and we go to Control F, OpenStreetMap. It should be somewhere. We want to go to data, yeah, OpenStreetMap, and then it's not here. It's somewhere on it, but now I cannot find. All right. So what I would like to talk about first is let's look at the OpenStreetMap wiki to have more information on it. So download OSM data, OSM wiki. Let's see if there's a page. There should definitely be. Trust the OpenStreetMap wiki. You can see that there's a long list already of things. Some of them may be technical, some of them a bit complicated. But we'll start from a quick, a publicly available sources. So we'll start from one common one, which probably you might have heard already. It's called the GeoFabric download server. So I just search for GeoFabric, and then I'll just do download. And then it's the first one here. So it's GeoFabric, download.geofabric.de. Here you could see that the files are in regions. We have Africa all the way down to South America. And you see that there are osm.pbf. It's a new file format that OpenStreetMap, I mean, we are mentioning for now, file format that OpenStreetMap data is in. And then there is a shape, shape file. Then we cannot download shapefile at this region. It's too big, 6.1 gig for this. So we go to Africa. Where do we go? So here we can see that there are some other data and then some explanation on, okay, we have .pbf, so suitable for osmium, osmosis, IMPOSM, and OSM to PG-SQL and many more. So these tools are useful for working with OpenStreet, creating your own custom maybe derivative of OpenStreetMap data based on your own configuration and etc. Quickly, we'll just look at I'll just go to maybe Cameroon. Let's see what's the file sizes, not to waste time. So where is Cameroon? Cameroon should be, let's see. Cameroon is 108, and then what's the shape size? Over zoomed. Let's go to say again. Cameroon. Yeah, it's here. So I just click the zip shape file and it's downloading. It says it's 500 megabytes. That's big. I think you'll find a smaller country. Let's go to Angola. I already started downloading Angola too. And then if we go to any of these countries, we can choose Benin, for example. It tells you when this thing was extracted, and you can see the date, the time, the file size, the S3 shape file, and there is a PDF here. So this PDF tells you about how GeoFabric does the conversion or the data model that they use to create the attribute table that is on this shape file. So we can already start from maybe, let's scroll down a bit. it gives you information that OpenStreetMap data is OBDBL, etc., etc. Some versions, the coordinate reference system of the data, how common attributes, etc., etc. And then quickly we can jump to places. So places, you have a city, gives you some description and tries to tell you the OSM equivalent tags. So if you are still worried about, okay, which tag is doing something, this is a good starting point to already see that, okay, somebody has done some work for you already on this, a good documentation that you can look at if you get the data from a GeoValues for your reuse. I will just cancel that of Cameroon to give more space to that of Angola to finish quickly, and then let's see. Yeah, so this is one of those problems that, okay, the file is really big, and then you download it. Yeah, it's there, you put it in your shape file, you use it. Now, a good question to ask yourself is that, well, the OpenStreetMap data is changing, or maybe you're working on a project where data is going to OpenStreetMap very quickly, and then you want to be able to have an update of this on your computer or on your server or somehow as things change. That will now change our conversation to a database. So we'll change our discussion now from, okay, getting the file, putting it on the file system in a folder, it's there. If it's for one-time use, and I think that's fine. Sometimes some people could argue that, okay, I can just download the file. For example, for this, we downloaded for Angola. I extract here, we download for Angola. I mean, you use it when you are done. When it's out of date and you need to update, all you do is just delete the folder, download a new one, and extract it, and then the file path is there. Well, it works fine, but what if you are working as a small business? You have a small business or a small company that you are working with OpenStreetMap data, for example, to produce maps for your local municipality or for yourself, and you are 4 or 5 people in the office. How do you make it easier that all of you are able to work on the same data? How do you do this? Now, OSGeoLive, I mentioned, is an operating system. It's a Linux operating system. If you're not a technical person, you might find it difficult to install these things and configure it. That is the purpose. So you can take OSGeoLive, put it on maybe one of the old laptops or one of the desktops in the office. And then with some web search about how to put a computer on a small network in the office, you already have a full system, a PostGIS, and all the stuff's already on a small computer in the office. Now, everybody sitting on their computer can work on the same database, and it's already updating itself as time happens, maybe every day once or every day twice. So quickly, without talking too much, I will jump to QGIS. Again, I keep all this maybe in one group for now. Let's call it CM, which is Cameroon. Then I disabled it and minimize it. Now, we can browse the project. So we browse files, so we browse. It's good to always save a project when you're working. So I will save this so that we have access to the file system. So we go to user, I put it in downloads, and all I'll do, I will just save it here. I'll call it SOTM Africa 2023. All right. So you have a new folder here called Project Home, and already you can see QGIS can see or can open zip files and read the files from it. So even you can see the Angola file. You see this is the zip, but it tells you the layers within them, and you can see, oh, this is a polygon, this is a point, etc., etc. Good, but I have extracted it, so we can just look at this one. Let's bring the buildings. Now there is a naming convention for the files. You can see the same thing I am talking about here from that PDF. You see there. So you see, this is GIS OSM tells the, yeah, it's from it's a GIS file OSM. This is building and this is area. So the A, it's an area. When I load this, you see that we zoom to this, and I bring it outside the Cameroon group, and yeah, it's loading. So it's a lot of buildings already. This might even because I am running a virtual machine now. This is heavy on my computer. Resources I'm running on my own computer with a different operating system, and this is also running within my computer. That is how a virtual box works. Probably I think it has already frozen something, but okay, it's fine, it's not frozen. And you can see the buildings, and we can zoom to them. And yeah, similarly, if I identify, you see the same actions. I mean, view, form, etc. This, it's not from OSM to quick OSM, so you don't see that quick feature about editing in GeoSM. But with this one, GeoSM remote at the top here, when you click this, that's where the magic also happens again. It loads this area into context. This is in Angola for us. So you can see this, there are buildings here, but they are not mapped, but the ones that are mapped is this one that you see here. So for example, this one probably, what is the ID? If I do Control I here, we see the ID is it's ending with 649. And when we go back to here and I identify this, it's ending with 649. So that is it. We're in this area, as you can see. So the building is here. And when you look at the attribute table quickly, what do you see? You see some standard or common attributes. Maybe you are interested in the level of building. So you can see that GeoFabric data, it's giving you basic information, but it lacks further attributes for your maybe special needs. Yeah, so here you can see some code which are all documented in the PDF. We have the F class, which is building, of course, and then if which type of building it is, if there is a name for it, etc. But let's say you want the level of building, you want the material of this building, you want the color of this building, you want many other things, but they are not here. So we started from QuickWSM so that there is a prepared package somewhere for us to use, but the GeoFabric shape files don't have this information. So what is the next step? I mean, you can see this data here. It's enough. Okay, it's good for you to start. For POIs, you can see the POIs already. If you go to the attribute table, you see the F class column is unique for all of them. And the F class is where the classes, the keys, the values for the keys are stored. So for example, here I can just try to do categorize to let's see what is happening in the F class column to see. So you can see several things all the way from alpine huts to zoo that is occurring in this data. In QGIS, we can just select some of them. Let's say the two. I go to select features. When it's selected just one of it, and then when it's selected, you can use the zoom to selected feature. And let's see where the zoo is. Ah, there is a zoo here. Wow, it's interesting. So let's see. It's an OSM ID. I copy. Okay, I will not copy. I'll use the magic remote control magic, and then come here, and then just download the data in OSM, everything, and see if there is truly a zoo here. That is interesting, you know. Where is the zoo? Reserve. Okay, there is a zoo here. That's a point. Okay, interesting. Maybe probably supposed to be the area, but the person mapped it to in order to be able to improve it later. So yeah, for now it's we leave it for another day. Good. So that is it. One source where you can just get prepared shape files for your country. So for now, you could get for your country on daily basis.
C'est pas à toi de décider. C'est bon.
Is there a question? No, I think it's not a question. Okay, c'est bon. If you have a question, if you want to ask in French, feel free to ask in French too as well. I might be able to answer. I have not forgotten my French. Okay, so I think that's all for the static files. We will now jump to databases. So I think how many more minutes do I have? Walter, you can tell me, then I know what to add more. Because now the final...
You have 30 minutes to
30 minutes. Okay, good. Then we can talk about databases now and play around with some other, then we can explore some other tools on OSGeoLive. So last but not the least, before we just explore OSGeoLive is the database. So I'm sure you might have heard of Postgres SQL or PostGIS. Let's go back to my local documentation. Where is it? Too many tabs now. Yes, these are stuff. I think it should be this one. Oh, it's an online one, no? Local host. Yeah. Then we go to contents, and then we go to data stores. Then we have PostGIS. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, pardon me, is that when you go to each of these projects on the live CD or on the virtual machine disk. For example, PostGIS, you see a link to the project and a quick start. This quick start helps you. It's a guide, complete guide that teaches you, a quick information about how this is working and the data you need to use for this guide. It is already included in the operating system. It's packaged with it. So this is a complete tutorial offline for each of the projects. They all have it. So they all have a quick start. So for example, PG routing tells you what it is. It adds a routing functionality to the PostGIS, Postgres database, and it uses OpenStreetMap data. So maybe you want to do some route analysis or cost distance analysis for your company, or you are starting a small delivery company and you want to be able to estimate the cost distance based on your other parameters. You PG routing, it's a must go or something to look at. So we go back to content, and what we want to look at is now it's a PostGIS. So PostGIS is an extension for the Postgres database. So extensions add extra functionalities to tools. QGIS has several extensions. In GeoSM, we'll say plugins that add extra functions that do not come with the software originally out of the box. Is that not it? So these adds spatial support. So spatial support in the sense that you can be able to ask spatial questions, or like use SQL if you have an understanding about database already. It uses spatial SQL to query, to ask questions, to do things on the fly, things that there is a presentation called GIS without GIS by Paul Ramsey. You can just type GIS without GIS in your favorite search engine. I think it will be the first to come up. I recommend this. You should watch or read this for some inspiration about why, if you have the data in a database, you even appreciate it more than, point and click or QGIS will never go away. But some of the things that you already do with several steps of clicking in regular QGIS could be accomplished with spatial SQL. And this can be repeated and automated. Several things could happen to that. So we don't need to install it. It's already installed in this operating system package with the extensions. And we have some sample database already here. Now, let's see how this works. This is Postgres. You can interact with PostGIS database from QGIS. So here on the left browser, I can right click. I see a new connection, save connection, etc. Now here you can see these are databases. I think these are databases, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, these are databases. So we have databases here. This one, and this OpenStreetMap data, of course. Okay, so in the database, there is something called schema. So here there's a public schema. Schema you can see as, let's refer to schemas as, how will I call schemas? I want to relate schemas to something in the real world. Let's say containers, or in an institution, there are departments. Yeah, so let's say departments in the database. So here there's a public schema. You can have schema. So I can have a schema purposely for this workshop. So I call it new schema. I call it SOTM, Africa. So I just call it SOTM Africa, a schema. So this schema here does not have any tables now. So the tables are the layers, and this schema has some tables from president in Kosovo. Now, as we were doing the initial things, we have some bars here from Cameroon. I want to keep this in the database. Quickly, I could, okay, I've prepared it, I've downloaded it, yeah, everything is done, and I want to keep it in a database. Quickly, I can just drag it and put it on the state of the map Africa schema. And what happened? It's imported successfully, and now it's in my database. If I save this project, I close it, or maybe I open a new QGIS instance. So I open QGIS again. QGIS, let's see if I can open a new one. Yeah, it's opening. If I open a new QGIS here, I make it move, and then I move it here, make it bigger. The project I was working already is saved here. Now, when we go to Postgres, and then we go to OpenStreetMap, you see my schema is here, and then this, and we go to bars, it already shows you the fields. You can see it tells you which is what, and this is a geometry column here, which is a point. So if I drag and drop this in QGIS, I should have my data. But now, if you look at, I can close this, and we go back to our own. If I bring this back to the QGIS, 10 of this one, 10 of this one. Now, if we go to properties, you see information. This is coming from a database. So you can see it's coming from DB, OSM, blah, 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 a very long thing, and tells you the storage is a Postgres SQL database with PostGIS extension, and tell you some other more information. So if this computer were to be on a network now or in an office, my colleagues with their access credentials can also access this database. And the beauty of functionalities or things database offers you, the advantages offers you that we can now simultaneously edit. So maybe this is not only relating to OpenStreetMap even, maybe relating to, we are digitizing land parcels or a project which is relating to OpenStreetMap completely. We could now do in a database, and all of us are working on it together. It could be on a local machine, your own machine, or it could be on a server for someone on the computer, or it could be in the office. It could be accessed. And this way, I can edit, and then we add a point. Where should it be? I add something here, pops up the things. You can see already, because in the database, it has a something here. This is already creating an ID based on the next one. I think I can click OK. And now if we try to identify this, let's see what's the ID. I think it's this one. You see, do I save it? I save it, disable editing, and then I identify it again. Is this one here? And the ID is 259. I didn't type it. So those are some of the things that GeoPackage could also do that. You could also do that with QGIS expressions, but so far as it's in the database is taking care of consistency and so many other things for you. Now, this is downloading manually and putting it into the database. What if we want to be able to do this all together without downloading manually? Maybe we want to run this consistently or want to automate it. So that brings me now to the last thing on the database, which is OSM to PG SQL. I think I should have that tab open somewhere here. So this tool, it's a one interesting one that allows you to take OSM data and purposely prepare to put it in a Postgres database. There is a documentation, tutorials, extensive ones that tells you about, okay, let's look at the manual. That tells you extensive things about it and several ways on how to use it. We will just quickly try to extract buildings from, or maybe the bars again from Angola. So where do we start from? In order to use OSM to PG SQL, we need a PBF file, an OSM file. It could be PBF, which we use mostly. So if we go back to the GeoFabric download, where we downloaded from. So download, it's one source. There are other sources that you could get this PBF from, but this is one source. Okay, let's see. Angola is the smallest one. Cameroon is what? It's big, huh? So we want the PBF. So I will just get Angola again, or maybe Benin even. It's 39. So I get the Benin, the PBF file. You remember that when we're reading this, you can see that it says it's suited for these tools, and these all tools could do OSM translation into the database. But in this case, we're just going for OSM to PG SQL. Well, you might be wondering, okay, how do I install this? It's a software you need to install, of course, but with OSGeoLive, it comes installed. There is no graphical interface for OSM to PG SQL. This is where you will need to do some typing in a black screen, a terminal. If you just type OSM, I think it's too tiny. I'll just increase the screen a bit. Yeah, if you type OSM to PG SQL, you should see it tells you some things. Let me tell you that, okay, it's available, it's active, it works. In OSGeoLive, maybe you want a password to some softwares or some things. If you go to the desktop, there is a file called password.txt. So you can see here in this, we see for Postgres, it's just user. So if I need to add a database now or connect to it, I just need a user. You can also confirm that probably from here. Let's see, edit connection, and then you can see it here. You see, That's what is making the connection to the database. Okay, so what I want us to do now is just try something quickly with the OSM to PG SQL. And then my time should already be wrapping up. Okay, it's Benin, right? Benin latest the OSM to PBM. So quickly, we will just go to the OSM to PG. There should be some basic configurations. Let's see some basic file configuration. Let's see. Okay, it should be in examples. Yeah, examples are always a good starting start. So we can do several things with OSM to PGs. Even you remember exporting OSM data. But I just want to maybe create a POI map. Let's see which one of them. So this is a basic configuration already that we can use. I will not modify anything here. I will just copy this. I download it. It's downloaded pos.lua. So we need a configuration file. And how to run it is like this. So you have OSM to PG SQL, -d, which is the database, the output file, and blah, 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 something. So I want to do this for Benin. Yeah, quickly for Benin. So I will just copy this. I have not changed anything here. That tells you things working. I go to my terminal. I go to CD. I change directory to download. I mean, because that's where things are now. Oh, it's downloads. Yeah. Then I can do ls to list. It's just the same as going to the download folder here. This one here, and listing the things that I need. So it's here. These are the files there. So what I want to do is I copy this. Okay. I want to, the input file now, it's Benin, not input. So it's Benin. And then let's see if this works. I know it will not work. So it says does not exist. So we don't have any database called POI in the database. So I need to create that database. Let's say, how do you create this database? You can just do it from a graphical software like what do you call it, PG admin, but with limited, I'll just do from the command line here. You can do from the command line. So I do PSQL, it loads, then I'll just create a database, yeah, a database called, maybe I call it SOTM Africa, not Benin. Then I will connect to this database, SOTM Africa, and then I will create an extension, create extension, PostGIS. It needs that to work. And then probably I'll also create an extension called HStore. And then this also stores the OSM tag key values in a longer pair. So we have a database now, as it. Now I will run this command again, but now the database, which is here, should be SOTM Africa. Okay, let's see if this works. Now you can see already it's processing. This takes the entire Benin and it's extracting. Let's open a software called gedit. So we see how the, it doesn't work. Kate, no, Launchpad. I need, yeah, I want to edit the text file, but download. The Lua file is just a configuration, it's a text file. Okay, okay, further part. So I open this, time up.
Can Northwest start getting ready?
Okay, sure, thank you.
Yes, yes. What
all right.
is the secret? So that,
hello?
If I'm ready now, right when you want to.
Okay, so you can see I mentioned earlier that you can control, I mean, the tags are limited from the shapefile you download. So from these things you see here, this is how you are able to add more attributes per your own criteria or what you want. Maybe you want the building level, or you want some telephone number, contact, etc. You want some other things to add to it. This is where you control it. So with this text file called the Lua file, you have the flexibility to control. I will just do one of them, add a mobile phone option. But let's see the connection I just did if it works. So I want a new connection. So it's no longer OpenStreetMap. So I come to new connection, and then I'll just call it SOTM Africa. I call it SOTM Africa. And then the local host is here. The database is SOTM Africa. Then the password is just user. User, I store it, and then this is also user. Then I test to see, oh, it works successfully. I save the password, click OK, I click OK again. Now, if we expand SOTM Africa, you see only one table in the public schema. Can you guess what should be the name of that table? It's POIs. and then here, and I can load it. And when we zoom in, let me just remove all these other layers. I put them in a group and I hide it. Then I load my POIs again. Come on. You do this. Let's confirm that if this tool is coming from the new database, you can leave the cursor on it and it tells you where it's coming from. And you can see it's from there. So I zoom to this layer. It should be in Benin. So you can see these are all POIs from Benin based on the amenity tag. So if you open the attribute table, you can see how it's named. This class. Okay, for example, I want to add, somebody can tell me what something to add quickly, which tag could be of interest. Maybe we want to add phone. So here, I mean, because I have an understanding of this, I could actually now add a column. So it's a column. So I copy this and then I paste, and I call this column phone. Then what is happening here? If object or amenity, then this, Okay, you don't need to do any further thing again here, I think. Tags object dot tags dot name, blah, blah. The phone is a regular tag. So I save, and then we go back to the command line. We rerun this again and see what happens. So it shouldn't take that long. Benin is a small country. It's done again. It takes only it says some few seconds, 4 seconds. Now, when we go back to QGIS, remove this, refresh the data sources, and even if you can take a peek, you will see a phone already here. That is ABC. Let's load this and see what's happening. And then we open the attribute table. If there is a phone number, okay, it says null, meaning I didn't do something. I didn't get that. I need to do function process A, name the object, the tag, if objects. Oh, okay, yeah, I need to add if is the object of this. I need to tell it that it should get this value, this phone too. So else if I need to add another else if again. For here, and then backspace. Yeah, you just need to do some text modifying again. So a dot class tags dot phone, then a dot okay, I change this to a dot phone is equal to object dot tag dot phone. If it has it, so we just rerun it again. We should work fine now. I think we should have some records with the phone in there. This is the last try, and then I think my time already. Somebody signaled me. I think it's done. Let's bring it up the group. Come on. I just delete this entire group probably. I don't need it again. And I bring the phone, zoom to layer, and then we open attribute table. We should have something. Okay. All right. I think I don't know what to do now, but yeah, you could modify it in that regard, in that sense, to there's something I'm missing probably. So it's a phone, column phone, blah 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 blah. Insert POIs, unsave object tags at phone, then phone, else return. But I don't know what's happening. So we keep it this way. And then last but not the least is that this way, you could continue to do further configuration that maybe this should update once a day. So every day it just runs on its own and update, because OSM to PGSQL, the command line tool itself, has a way that you can automate updating of your local copy of the data that you want. I think I don't have much time again to speak, or maybe the timekeeper comes soon. But the last things I would like to also show is that on this operating system, there are many other things. Just not okay. Yeah, PG admins here, which you could use to explore. So if you go through the system tool is one of them. I think yeah, the other here, you see a long list of tools that could serve your needs. Maybe GeoSM, of course, for OpenStreetMap, but beyond the niche of OpenStreetMap usage. Sometimes maybe you've heard of a software called GeoServer, and you are wondering how does a GeoServer work. So You could start it and see already how to play around with it, or start to learn about how to even store data, OpenStreetMap data, or your own data in a GeoServer that you can distribute among your peers in the office, or maybe there's a GeoServer in your institution, but you don't have the privilege in order to put data there, and you want to see how this thing works behind the scenes. You could look in OSGeoLive and try to play around this. So last but not the least is that how do you get OSGeoLive? I mean, how do you get your hands on it? How do you try it? You just go to live.osgeo.org, which is the same page I've been showing always on the operating system itself. And when you scroll to the bottom here, there are already most of the things I've said here. Running is in a virtual machine. This is what I did and what I am using to teach you now. I also follow these steps, not extensive, it's not long, you can see, just a quick scroll and then it's done. So you can also do it. And then when you go to download, we have two things here. So we have the VMDK and then the ISO file. So this you can put on a pen drive or a CD and install. But this one, the VMDK, it's highly compressed. It's a disk image. It's a virtual box disk image, which you can put in a virtual machine and run from it. So what I am using here is a VMDK. So this is useful for workshops or institutions who have you are a lecturer, or you have a student who you want to give all these tools already. Maybe everybody says, I cannot install it on my computer. I mean, you know, the problems that come with running software on individual computers and etc. So I think that's all I can say for now. But if there is still some time, we can try to fix this thing together before we go. So I just go back here. I don't know why I cannot fix it.
Thank you, Enoch. I think the floor is open for questions as well. Thank you for the wonderful presentation.
I need to put it here. So phone is equal to object dot tags dot phone. Yeah, so this I think should work now. Let's rerun. Yeah, then I remove it again, refresh, and then when I add it, and then we look at the attribute table. Okay, yeah, there you go. So we have the phone numbers, the telephone numbers for some of them. We can already filter and see which of them don't have phone numbers. Filter, then we know it's phone, and we can say phone is not now. And then we see, okay, all right. So if you're from the Benin and you're traveling around, probably there are a lot of restaurants without a phone number. Please add them to OpenStreetMap. So if I identify, this is fine. I can copy the value and I can go to, just do it manually, osm.org node slash this. And then, yeah, the key is phone. So it's here. Let's see, this is long like this, but let's see what is OSM to PG picking from there. So it picked everything. Yeah, so that's it. Okay. And then when we were talking, I think I downloaded the Natural Love package. I said it's a good start. If you open the Natural Love, the QGIS project, the version 3 or any of them, it's a good starting. Had some, it's a lot of layers. It has some, I can just keep unavailable layers. It has some good starting cartography for you. You can use it as a starting project for your projects. I mean, you can do that. Yeah. So this is it, and then you can change. I think the groups are exclusively mutual. So no, did I make it? No, it's not. So we can learn something. So these are all groups. Sometimes you want to be able to just have only one of them. There is one feature in QGIS that says they are. So make the groups, where is it? Mutually exclusive groups. So only one of them can be active at a time, you know. Oh, really? It's still not working? Wow. Okay, so let's try again. So this is the groups. So we have the first group, which is 1 second. As mutually exclusive groups, yeah. Then if I do this and I do this, whoa, it's not working. All right. But that is what you should do. So right click and I do mutually exclusive groups. And I do this, it should turn off the other one, but it's not working as expected. So yeah, you have it from Zoom levels. Then you can see which works for you. That's a good starting point or for some inspiration. Yeah, and also there is also some cartography for OpenStreetMap data. When you see there is a QGIS resources sharing, and then you can search for OSM style QGIS. There are some series of styles. Okay, maybe GitHub is also a starting source. You can see there are some style sheets or QGI styles that provide symbology. So we can just try this one. This is from some years back, but this is random. I have never used 6 years, but let's download and see if we apply to the data, if we see something. Yeah, those are some ways that you reuse the OpenStreetMap data. You don't know where to start from with symbology or how to style your data. And then, yeah, there you go. You can extract here. Let's see what's in it. So I go back to QGIS. I bring one of the OpenStreetMap original data public, and I bring public OSM.point, and then I double click. I just go to style. I try to load a style, and then maybe from file. Where is that folder? It's in downloads, the beautiful OSM, and it says which one did I open? OSM point. Yeah, let's see if it does something. Load style, and then apply. I turn on this one. Do we see anything? Yeah. We zoom here. Oh, nothing shows. Whoa. Okay, let's try for polygons. And then we load style again. I mean, you need to do some try and errors and play around, and then finally get it. Let's see, load style. Okay. Up, everything runs away again. Hola. Okay. Using rule base. Maybe I have not zoomed enough. Zoom to layer. Precision, yeah. Okay, I turn off this. Yeah, you see it. So you can see at a zoom level, it's working. You see some good symbology already here as a good starting point for your OpenStreetMap data. And then let's add the roads and then maybe lines instead. Turn off this and try to load the style. Yeah, I didn't know about this. You just search and we are finding it. So it's OpenStreetMap data. And this is road. So let's do a lines and see load. Okay. Yeah, you can see. Voila. It's based on the original OSM data. I didn't change anything here, and it's working fine. You can see that there are a long list of rule-based styling here, and based on zoom levels, several things already going. So I think that's all for now. If you have any question, feel free to ask. You can ask on the OSGeoLive mailing list. So in order to get in touch with the OSGeoLive has a team which is working on it, so you can contact the team if you need. You have any special needs about okay, I want to use this in my school or my classroom. You need support, maybe for USB stick or something. Please feel free to write to the mailing list here, or these are many ways that you can also support. And yeah, please use it. If you have problems, just write. If you need that, okay, the downloading of this is too big for you, we can find a way to get you the image that you can redistribute, etc., etc. Yeah. Thank you very much. And questions? If there are no questions, if you have any question yourself, Walter, or any comments before we go, feel free to say. And I hope it was helpful and you learned something. Thank you.
Thank you, Enoch, for the good session you've shared. It was quite a handful of knowledge. I don't know if anyone has a question, any of the people on the call. You can see we have Arnold, we have Claire and Karab on the call. Please, if you have a question, you can just unmute. You can raise your hand or unmute and speak.
I know it's too many things in a small session, but just to give you an idea of what is out there that maybe we are missing. And yeah, if this documentation is not in your language, you can also have translated. It's in English, Deutsch, Espanol, and French. It's also here, Francais. And yeah, there you go. We can have, maybe you see that the content, some of it, let's see the quick starts, they're all in French and good. Okay, so here, for example, you could see this is the French, but you can see that there are certain part of it in English. So one other way you could also contribute or also support is helping with the translation of contents that have not been translated into your language. So yeah, and the way to get involved is the mailing list. You can find more information about on the wiki. OSG also has a wiki. Everybody has a wiki. So and the wiki is the place, the mailing list is the communication platform here. And you need to subscribe and then send an email about your needs and what you want to do. Okay. What else? Any last thing? How many minutes do we have more?
The quick Q&A session was only for 10 minutes, so we have 8 minutes to
finish, to wrap up. Okay. Then if we still have some participants, I mean, you can also use the chat. I don't know what else I could show again. What did I put in this thing? Let me talk about. Okay, so other sources that you could get, this is wrong, it should be .d, to get the file for using with OSM to PGIS SQL. OSM France also have, I think it should be download .OpenStreetMap .fr, I think. No, I got the wrong one. It should not be FT. It should be FR. I'm feeling sleepy now. Okay, let's see. La. Okay. Let's see. So it's here. You can see the extracts. And I mean, if you want to be able to do the update continuous things, these are some places you might be coming to, like the extract. And then you can see the same PBF here. You don't have shape files, yeah? You have PBF. So Africa, you can go to the Ghana latest. Let's see. He's downloading his 88. So the same, I just get this PBF. I could still use the same schema. I used this configuration that I use for Benin, which is the same as OpenStreetMap schema data. It will work everywhere. So for example, here it's processing both. So it's taking everything and converting. Even here, see some magic is happening here. I didn't even see, because these are the new things in OSM to PG SQL. Here at this place, what is happening is that even if it finds a polygons which are having the POI tags, it's taking the centroid of it and putting the tags on it. So it runs the point and then this, but in the end, it's only creating one table, which is called the POI table, but it's a point table in the end. So in the end, you see the geometry for that POI table is just a point. It's only one table. So with this, I run it on Ghana and see what happens. Let's see, from OSM from Ghana. And then let's see how long it takes. It should be, shouldn't take that much. It's both points of interest on buildings and, okay, I see it was fast. Time should be up now, but let's see, I refresh. Then I just go to here and then POIs again. And I zoom to it. This should now be all over Ghana. Yeah, it's works faster, easy, and you have this PBF file that you can now talk to or be able to extract every nitty-gritty that is of importance to you, the building level, etc. All you need is, I mean, there are several examples from the internet, or if you cannot do this from scratch, I didn't do this from scratch, you know, we ride on the shoulders of the giants. So you see somebody has done it. How did they do it? I mean, then change it. If you have problems, you can ask the one who write it, or ask in the OSM mailing list of your country, Africa, or on the Telegram group, wherever. Somebody should be ready to respond and help you. So I think that's all for today. And
hello.
Yeah.
Someone from on the YouTube platform has asked if you have a PDF document
About
this lecture for the entire presentation, or rather on how to use the OSM GeoLive or OSGeoLive.
I really highly recommend. So everything I was saying here, or if you want a tutorial, the PDF, it's all in the OSGeoLive operating system. So you can find it on the live.osgeo.org website. So live.osgeo, this address. And when you go to contents, whatever I was showing from the OSGeoLive, which is running on my computer now, it's the same thing that is on the website. So on the OSGeoLive itself, when you type localhost on it, and you go to, it's the same website. So in the website of live.osgeo, it's the same thing you see. So this already is packaged. So if you have a OSGeoLive in the disk form or virtual disk image or pen drive image ISO, you can just mount it, run it on your computer, and do this without internet access. And it's the same thing online. So the content has, as I mentioned, desktop, for example, QGIS tells you about it, what it is, and then at the bottom, there is a quick start documentation and tells you, okay, one is this menu bar, explains much more in detail. This is a full getting started tutorial with the data you need already on this operating system. So you don't need, I don't need to prepare an extra separate PDF. Everything that you need, it's on this. If you can't get the ISO or the disk, it's on the website, live.osgeo.org.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I think, yeah, it's 2 minutes left. That's it. In 1 minute, we can say goodbye if there is no final anything from anybody to ask or add. And yeah, if you want to find me, I am Enoch Fawcett on OpenStreetMap, or you can ask who is Enoch from any of the mailing lists for OSM Africa or Ghana. I am mostly mapping in Ghana, or you can find me on the OSM page. My username is this, and if you write me something and there is time, I'll definitely respond. I won't ignore. So yeah, thanks. But always good to write in the public space where it's indexed, that if I answer this question, somebody also have this question tomorrow and it helps them. So that's why I recommend the mailing list, or the OSM forum. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I've seen someone else has a concern, but I will respond to them. They're saying they tried to download, but it could not load. Keep telling the person the site can't be reached. Is there a way to go about it? I think it's just an issue with the sites the person was Googling or checking out.
I think I put it in the chat here. It's live.osgeo. Just type OSGeoLive in your favorite search engine and you'll find OSGeoLive. OSGeoLive. Please put the link. Okay. It's live.osgeo.org. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. I think we are going to take a quick break. We'll meet in other sessions that are coming up. So thank you very much, Enoch, for the good session you shared. It was quite insightful, and hope to see you again. I'm going to end the live. Thank you.